Here I've got a conversion graph to convert miles into kilometers. In the UK, we use miles to measure distances. Other countries, France for example, use kilometers. But 1 mile is not the same as 1 kilometer. And this graph helps you to convert miles into kilometers and then kilometers to miles. If you look at this carefully then, let's suppose I want to change 20 miles. I want to know what 20 miles is over here. What's 20 miles converted to kilometers? So you find 20 miles and then you put your ruler at 20 and then you draw a line going straight up. When you hit the graph, stop, turn left. Now this should be done using a ruler. So it looks like 20 miles is around about, not 30, it's not just quite 30, that arrow's pointing just above it, 31. So 20 miles is around about 31 kilometers. Let's try another one. What if I wanted to convert 40 miles into kilometers? So you locate 40. Now let's try a different one. Let's try 35. That's 30. 35 is right there. 35. Between 30 and 40. Draw a straight line using a ruler. And hit the graph. Turn left. So it looks like 35 miles is around about 50, 51, 52, 55, 56. So you can say 35 miles is around about 56 kilometers. Let's suppose I want to change this time 70 kilometers into miles. So locate 70 kilometers. 70 kilometers is right there. Using a ruler, draw a straight line. Then hit the graph. Go down towards the miles. So that's around about 40, 41, 42, 44. 70 kilometers is 44 miles. So that's how you use the conversion graph. Now I'm going to try some questions. Use the graph to make approximate conversions. Use the graph to make approximate conversions. So it's talking about this over here is related to this graph. Just ignore this 3. Just ignore that. So the first one is change 10 miles into kilometers. So I'm doing this one now. Change 10 miles into kilometers. So you locate 10 miles, which is right there, and then draw a straight line. You can hit the graph, turn left. So 10 miles, it looks like it's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 kilometers. Now, next one, I'm going to change 40 miles into kilometers. So locate 40 miles, it's right there. With a ruler, straight line. When you hit the graph, stop, turn left. So according to my graph, what I've just done, it's 61, 2, 3, 4. Around about 64 kilometers. So 40 miles is the same as 64 kilometers. Right, next one. This one here. I want to change 40 kilometers. Remember, it's kilometers. Now we're going to go from kilometers to miles. 40 kilometers. Right, now locate 40 kilometers. You've got to look for kilometers. Remember, this is kilometers over here. Locate 40 kilometers right there. So that looks like I'm pointing at 20, 21, 22, 23, 25 miles. Next one, change 80 kilometers into miles. Well, I can see that there already. That's the last number there on the graph. Straight across and then straight down. And you can see where that's going to go. That's going to be 50 miles. There you have it. Okay, now question 2. The topic here is exchange rate. Obviously different countries have different currencies, different types of money. So in this country, in the UK, we have pounds. For example, USA has dollars. Europe uses euros. India uses Pakistan uses rupees, and so on. But that does not mean, for example, £1 is exactly the same as 1 rupee. Right? That's not how it works. In this question, if you look over here, what I've just highlighted, just circled there, £1 is the same as 160 krona, and that's currency for Iceland. So write that down then. £1 is equal to 160 krona. Question A. I want to change £5 into kronas. Remember, £1 is the same as 160 krona. So £5, well, what do we need to do? What do I do to get from £1 to £5? I need to times by 5. 1 times the 5 gives you 5. What have I done this side? Do on the other side. So now I'm going to do 160 times the 5. 160 times 5 is 800. So £5 is the same as 800 krona. And what if I want to change, let's say, I find a bit of space. Just write £1, it's the same as 160 krona. I just want to start again. Okay, that's my exchange rate, that's given to me. Now I want to change £20 into kronas. Right. What do I do to this one to get a 20? And to times by 20. Times by 20. What have I done this side? Do on the other side. So now I've got to do 160 times 20. That's 3,200 krona. Now I was able to do that pretty quickly in my head. If you're not sure how to do this in your head, I suggest what you do. What you should do is do the working out, 160 times 20, and then you take your time. You don't need to get the answer very, very quickly. If it's on the calculator, that's fine. But if you haven't got a calculator, you'd have to do the working out. Take your time. Next one. This time, £73. Let me just write the exchange rate again. £1 is equal to 160 krona. Now I want to change £73 into kronas. Obviously you have to times by 73. What do we do on this side? Do on the other side. Times by 73 as well. 160 times 73. What I will do, just for illustration, because I'm making a video here, just do this calculation quickly on the calculator. 160 times 73. £11,680 kronas. So £73 will get me that many kronas. Remember, if let's suppose a TV, a second-hand TV costs £73 in the UK, that same TV probably cost around about 11,680 kronas in Iceland. Right, last question. Write the exchange rate again. Remember that exchange rate can change from day to day. So one day could be 160 kronas, another day could be 161, 162 and so on. It varies, it changes from day to day. Now on this side, remember, I want this time pounds. Over here I've got 1,600 kronas. So I want to change from kronas back into pounds. So what you then do is you divide. You do 1,600 divided by 160. Now so far, if you notice, all the questions that we've been doing so far, we've been timesing. So when we change pounds into kronas, we've been timesing by the exchange rate. So if you look at question A again, we did £5 times 160. And for question B, we did £20 times 160. And then for question C, we did 73 times 160. This time what you do the opposite. Change your kronas back into pounds, you divide. You divide 1,600 divided by 160. 1,600 divided by 160, it's 10. So on this side, you can put £10. What you could have done is this, if you just bear with me for a moment. You could have thought, had to think about, well, what do I times 160 by to get 1,600? 160 multiplied by something, to give me 1,600. Let me just write that down. 160 times something to give me 1,600. Well, notice you got 160 here, but you got 160 here with an extra 0. So really what we've done is we have actually times by 10. Check. 160 times 10, 1,600. So here, back to the exchange rate, if we go back to the exchange rate, remember you've got 160 there, times something to give me 1,600 is times by 10. What have you done on this side? Do it on the other side. 1 times 10 is £10. So the answer for this is question D, £10. To keep it easy for you, what you can do is, when you want to change pounds into other currencies, you need to times by the exchange rate. But when you want to change the other currencies back into pounds, you need to divide by the exchange rate. And this time I want to focus on these recipe questions. Question over here, right. So at the top you can see to make cupcakes for 8 people, or sorry, if you want to make 8 cupcakes, these are the ingredients. You can see that now, all of these here. That's the ingredients. Remember, that makes 8 cupcakes. Those ingredients make 8 cupcakes. If you look at question A then, I want to make 4 cupcakes based on those ingredients. Remember, here, to make 8 cupcakes, you need 100 grams of butter, 100 grams of sugar, 2 eggs, and so on and so on. But here, I want to make half the amount. Remember, let's have a look. I'll write it here for you. So here we've got 8. This one, these ingredients make 8 cupcakes, but I want to make 4. Remember, half of 8 makes 4. So I need to halve all the ingredients. So I'll need, not 100 grams, half of 100 is 50. 50 grams of butter, half of 100 grams sugar is 50 grams sugar. Half of 2 eggs, half of 2 is 1 egg. TSP, teaspoon. So half of 1 teaspoon is half a teaspoon. Half of 120 grams of flour is 60. And this one is tablespoon, TBSP. 4 tablespoon, half of 4 tablespoon of milk is 2. There you go. So really the answer should go here, 50. I'm just copying the answers. There you go. Now, next question. I want to make 24 cupcakes. Well, there's 2 ways of doing this. Just looking at this one here. Remember, what I'll do, I'll start from here. This time I'm interested in making 24. Right now, if you look at this 8 over here, it's 8. 8 times something to give me 24. 8, 16, 24. So 8, 16, 24, that's 3 times by 3. So what I'm trying to say is I'm making 3 times as much. I'm making 3 times as much cakes than what's given to me in the ingredients. So I need to multiply all the ingredients by 3. Look at the butter then, 100 grams of butter multiplied by 3 gives you 300 grams. 100 grams of sugar multiplied by 3 gives you 300 grams of sugar. Right, 2 eggs multiplied by 3, 6 eggs. 1 teaspoon multiplied by 3 is 3 teaspoons. 120 grams of flour multiplied by 3 360. Right, I'm not expecting you to get these calculations as quickly as I'm doing it. If you need to, take your time, do the calculation. Just take your time. If you've got a calculator, that's well and good. But if you haven't, please take your time. 120 grams times 3, 360 grams of flour. And then 4 tablespoons of milk times by 3 is 4 times 3 is 12 tablespoons. I need to put these answers here. Those are the answers. Now if you wanted to, you could have done this. Let me just show you. It's a slightly different way of getting the answers. Right. It's a bit of a risk. I mean, assuming these are all correct. Now you don't know if these are correct or not, okay, because we had to work these out. All these ingredients for 4 cupcakes. So assuming these are correct, and you're 100% sure these are correct, let's see now. Here you're making 4. I've highlighted here 4. 4 times something to give me 24. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. That's 6 times by 6. So what you then do is, see the 50 there, times the 6 gives you 300. That 50 there times the 6 gives you 300. 1 times 6 gives you 6. Half times 6, 6 lots of halves make 3. 60 times 6, 60 times 6, 360. And the last one there, the milk, 2 times 6 gives you the 12. Right, a little bit risky, because if you got these numbers wrong, then obviously if you use this method and you got these numbers wrong, then all of these numbers would be wrong. So it's better to start with these numbers that were given to you. I'm going to ask an awkward question, slightly awkward. I want to know how much butter I need to make 30 cupcakes. Now I know I've got 24 here, I'm highlighting 24 cupcakes plus the 4 cupcakes. 24 add 4 makes 28, plus an extra 2 cupcakes, that makes the 30. So 24 add 4 add 2 makes 30 cupcakes. Now just focus on this 4 over here. Remember, for 4 cupcakes I need 50 grams of butter. So for 2 cupcakes, remember 2 is half of 4 cupcakes. So you took half the ingredient. Half of 50 is 25 grams. So you need 25 grams of butter for 2 cupcakes. So what's that all together? I've got 50 plus the 25 plus the 300. I need 375 grams of butter for 30 cupcakes. Remember, you can do a similar sort of thing for all the other ingredients. Right, this topic is called similar shapes. The green shape, the green triangle, is similar to the small green triangle is related to the big triangle. They are similar. So if you look at this now, this 4 centimeters down there, this side here is 4 centimeters. The bottom side of this triangle is related to the bottom side of the bigger triangle. Okay, and the left hand side over here of that little triangle is related to the left hand side of the big triangle. Now if you have a look at this, have a look at the bottom sides. Remember, we have here we've got 4 centimeters and we've got 12 centimeters there. Now 4 times something to give me 12. 4, 8, 12. So it's times by 3. That 3 is called the scale factor. So now if you look at the yellow sides, the left hand sides, we have here 3 centimeters, 3 centimeters, and we're trying to work out this side over here, the missing side. So 3 centimeters multiplied by the scale factor, 3 times 3 is 9. So this missing side here is 9 centimeters. I'll do a similar kind of example, another one. Here's an example. Got a little shape here and a bigger shape. And I will tell you that they are similar. We'll label the top one 2 centimeters and the big one, we'll label that one 8 centimeters. So you can compare the top with the top there. 2 times something to give me 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. That's times by 4. So that's the scale factor. The scale factor is 4. So if we had, for example, say, let's suppose this side here, the right hand side happened to be 3 centimeters. We want to work out this big right hand side over here. That was the missing side. All we have to do now is 3 multiplied by the scale factor. 3 times 4 is 12. That's the missing side. Now, how can we work at the scale factor? Well, I've shown you one way of getting the scale factor. If you look back at the original question, question A, if you look at this question again, how do we work at the scale factor? Well, there's one way I've showed you how to get from 4 to a 12. 4 times 3 gives you 12. But what you can do to get the scale factor is if you compare the two sides, both the bottom sides are given. So what you do is, see this 12 over here, you write 12 divided by this 4 over here. So 12 divided by 4, that gives you 3. That's the scale factor. Now, how do you know which one to put on the top, which number to put on the top and which number to put on the bottom? Well, the 12 goes on the top because it belongs to the shape with the missing side. That 12 over there belongs to this shape. The shape with the missing side there, that one there. Right, let's try another question. Right, two similar shapes again. I'm going to work out the scale factor. Right, the left hand side over here matches with the left hand side over here. Both the numbers are given. So what goes in the numerator? First of all, we're trying to work out this side over here. This is the side we're trying to work out. So to work out the scale factor, the number that goes on the numerator is 6. There's 6 over here. And the number that goes at the bottom is the 12. So why does the 6 go on the top and not the other way around? Not the other way around. Why does 6 go on the top? Because this 6 over here, see this 6 over here, belongs to the shape with the missing side. So 6 divided by 12 is a half. simplify to a half, or you can call it 0.5 if you want to. Half is the same as 0.5. So our scale factor is half. Now we're going to work at the missing side. 4 multiplied by the scale factor, half, 4 times half of 4 is 2 centimeters. So the missing side there is 2 centimeters. Right, another question. First thing we're going to do is work out the scale factor. Now the 2 bottom sides are given, and this is the missing side. So to work the scale factor, do 25, that 25 there, divided by 10, which is 2.5. That's the scale factor. So why does the 25 go on the top? The 25 goes on the top because it belongs to the shape with the missing side. 25 divided by 10 is 2.5, that's our scale factor. Now then, to work out a missing side over here, we do 6. We do 6 multiplied by 2.5 to give us this missing side there. 6 times 2.5, let me just work that out, 2.5 times 6, 5 times 6 is 30, don't forget the decimal point, 2 times 6 is 12, and 3 is 15. So the missing side there is 15 centimeters. So remember, work out the scale factor first, and then use the scale factor to find the missing side. Now what you can do is pause the video if you need to think about what I've just done, or you can rewind the video to have a re-look at how I went about working out the missing side. Right, here's another similar shape questions. Let's read the question. For each pair of similar shapes, write down the scale factor from shape A to shape B. So we're going from shape A to shape B. You can see it's gone bigger, the shape has gone bigger. So to find the scale factor, compare the 2 bottom sides that are given. 12 divided by 4, that gives you 3. Scale factor is 3. So to go from 4 times something to give me 12, it's obviously 3. Because 12 divided by 4 gives you 3. Or you could say 4 times the 3 gives you 12. It's times by 3. Right, next question. We go from shape A to shape B. It's gone smaller. So to work at the scale factor, 5, that 5 there, on the left hand side, divided by 20, which is also on the left hand side. Now you can simplify that. What's the biggest number that goes into 5 and 20? It's obviously 5. You can check 5 is in the 5 times table, 20 is also in the 5 times table. So you can divide by 5, top and bottom. Whatever you do to the top, do to the bottom. 5 divided by 5 is 1, 20 divided by 5 is 4, a quarter. Our scale factor is a quarter. So you can check 20 times the quarter, or quarter of 20, gives you the 5. Scale factor is a quarter. Now let's suppose, I'm just going to change the question slightly. Let's suppose, going back to question A, this side over here happens to be, I'm just making this up, let's say it's 2 centimeters. And I want to work out the missing side. Well, the scale factor is 3, so 2 times the 3 gives you 6 centimeters. So that would be the missing side. And similarly, let's suppose this side over here happens to be, what should we say, 4 centimeters. So to work out this missing side over here, it'll be 4 multiplied by the scale factor. 4 times quarter, a quarter of 4 is 1 centimeters. Now this question is to do with maps and scales. A map has a scale, well, it's written as a ratio. That means 1 centimeter on the map is the same as 10,000 centimeters in real life. Okay, so if you was to draw a line 1 centimeter long on the map, that line, that distance would be the same as 10,000 centimeters in real life. Alright, so let's suppose on a map, there's 2 villages on a map. The gap between the 2 villages happens to be 1 centimeter, but in real life, that'd be 10,000 centimeters. Let's answer question A. 2 towns are 2 centimeters apart on a map. So on a map, 2 towns are 2 centimeters apart. How far apart will these be in real life? So 2 centimeters over here. Now I need to think what goes over here. Now 1 times something to give me 2. 1 times something to give me 2 is times by 2. What have you done this side? Do on the other side. So 10,000 times 2 happens to be 20,000. 20,000 centimeters. So the answer to A is 20,000 centimeters in real life. Right, question B. Let me just write the ratio again. This time, question B. Right, this time 2 towns are 5 centimeters apart on a map. What would that be in real life? So here we go. 1 times something to give me 5, so obviously times by 5. What have we do on this side? Do on the other. 10,000 times 5 is 50,000. 50,000 centimeters. Answer, 50,000. Question C now. This time 2 towns are 15 centimeters apart. What would that be in real life? Well, 1 times 15 gives me 15. What have you done this? Do on the other side. Times by 15. 10,000 times 15 would be 150,000. 150,000 centimeters. Now, if you're doing this without a calculator, I would check things through very carefully. Right, do the calculation. and take your time. Right, last question. What I'll do is, I need a bit of space. Do it over here. Last question. Question, that should be question D now. That should be question D. Question D. Right, two towns are 40,000 centimeters in real life. So this is a different question now, slightly different. 40,000 centimeters in real life, it goes on this side. That's 40,000 centimeters in real life. And I want to know what that is on the map. So you're thinking now, right, let me just create a bit more space. Hold on. The 40,000 here. So I need to know what it will be on the map. So now 10,000, there's 10,000 here, multiplied by something to give me 40,000. Well, how many 10,000 go into 40,000? It's 4 times by 4. What have we done this side? Do it on the other side. 1 times 4 is 4 centimeters. The answer is 4 centimeters. So two towns that are 40,000 centimeters apart in real life would actually be 4 centimeters apart on the map.